20-year-old Lynette White was found brutally murdered above a betting shop in Butetown on St Valentine's Day. She had been repeatedly stabbed. 3 men were jailed for her murder, and detectives involved in the case are working round the clock to trace the man who fits the DNA profile taken.
In 1988, a girl got murdered, Lynette White. 10 months later, they arrested 5 black boys. 3 of us went to jail and 2 went home.
They only took him off us physically. Spiritually, they never. How could you be sitting in jail knowing, right, you're pure innocent, you haven't done anything wrong, and you're sitting here and they haven't just lost sweat. They have charged you, they have convicted you, they have sentenced you. You are sitting in a cell looking at all these crazy people thinking, they're going to let me out in a minute.
The whole scenario, the whole thing was concocted by police officers, made people lie, this is my opinion, to put us in jail for something they know we never done.
The police fitted me up with the rest of the guys. I was in jail for 2 years. 3 of the guys was convicted, Tony, Miller and Abdullahi. Eventually that was overturned after 2 years, and then they caught the real person who they was originally looking for, 14 years later.
When I first heard about it, I thought, what? I heard that they were looking for a white guy, a 6-foot white guy.
It was a white guy that I had a description of. They've come down, they've took 5 black guys off the streets, not the day before.
No, I ain't 6 foot, fair haired and white. There's no way you can take me for that. I'll let any of the guys for that. Still 10 months after the murder, there's no white boy they're taking 5 black guys.
Only because of the police, we were in jail, not because of the witnesses. The witnesses was told to lie because of the police. They threatened them. If they didn't agree with them, they would lock them up.
The police, they already knew what they was doing with them 2 prostitutes. They already knew about fitting people up and taking people's lives away from them, which is like they're supposed to be the law, and they think they're bigger than the law.
The 2 people admitted that in court that they were threatened and that they could have their kids taken off. This particular witness said she heard screams and looked out of her window and seen a few men standing at the door to the bookies, 7 James Street, and she says that she saw A, B, C, D and T. But T, who she named in her first statement with the other boys, is not like me. He's 6'2" or 3, and he's like 17 stone. Then this particular boy had an accident and died. Now the second statement she said she's seen A, B, C, D and T. But this T is now me, a 5'2" black guy. As I'm reading this statement, and it's gone from this particular person, the first one she mentions, and then the second statement she makes, it's now my name there instead. Well, why is that then? I'm in jail now and I'm reading all this, I'm thinking to myself, well, the boy T is dead now, so he's no use to him, so we'll just get this one in instead and make the girl say she's seen me instead of him. I went to jail for 4 years and 1 day for something I never done.
Justice? What justice?
My mum pointed over to Cardiff jail and said, that's where your dad is.
They're going to let me go, they're going to come and open the door, let me go, they're going to realise they made a mistake and let me go.
But even though he was in jail, we was too. They'd have to let him out because there was no way on God's earth, right, was I going to let them keep my brother.
We were released because of pressure. To say that I've murdered somebody in a serious, brutal way, horrific way, really, and I'm just going to lie down and say nothing, or not think about it, and I guess sometimes people saying to me, you've got to think about the future now, you've got to let this go. How can you let that go? How could anybody let go something like that, like this, been accused of not just any old murder, but a serious, horrific murder of a young female?
People still think to this day they got the man in jail And people thinks to this day that our kid, he fucking a murderer, you know.
I'm just glad it's over anyway. I'm just glad they got the real person and it's done with. Do you know what I mean? And I can live my life and people don't have to judge me or judge my name no more.
Words cannot express the impact that Lynette herself has had on our family and the torment we've been through over the past 15 years. We miss Lynn every day. We believe without the work and hard dedication of the current investigation team, this day would never have happened.